Scotland, a place renowned worldwide for its natural beauty, the rolling hills and shifting dunes of the northeast have captivated both locals and travellers for generations. The unique natural landscapes that are scattered throughout Scotland's coastline offer not only a habitat for localised wildlife and a barrier to the oft harsh weather conditions coming from the North Sea, but also a lasting front of purity, an unspoiled, untarnished haven that has survived in the face of human activity to remain the same for thousands of years. We are each of us, however, being faced with a crossroads. Preserving versus profiting, development versus conservation. The scale of choices such as these can range from the everyday to more influential tipping points. In the case of fragile natural ecosystems and habitats, one wrong choice can have lasting effects. We are all now aware of the consequences, how industrialisation and unfettered human interference have irreversibly whittled away from the beauty around us.
My name is Annabelle Drysdale. I'm the Reserve Manager for the National Nature Reserve, which is a dune reserve, and it lies immediately next to Foveran Links Site of Special Scientific Interest, which is where we are today. The Foveran Links Site of Special Scientific Interest, or SSI for short, is also a geological conservation review site and a site of interest to natural science. The dune system here formed over 4,000 years ago and is part of around 20 kilometres of sandy bay north of Aberdeen. Certain plant species, wildflowers, insects especially, and nesting birds in the summer find that they can make their homes here, whereas the surrounding countryside is now more heavily developed and under pressure from agriculture. So that's one of the reasons that these fringes of the coast are so important, because they've been largely untouched by human development. Some of the threats that these sites face are, of course, coastal defences, trying to combat climate change. In more industrial areas, inputs from the atmosphere, nitrogen pollution especially, can alter the habitat and the plants that can grow on these dune systems. Recreational pressure is of course very high all along the coast, from people walking or horse riding in particular, as well as larger scale developments.
Through first-hand experiences, you will be shown that the construction of the Trump International Golf Course, 40% of which fell within the protected Foveran Links, affected not only the local populations and the integrity of the Scottish Government's conservation policy, but an essential and unique natural landscape of great historical, ecological and environmental significance. Trump's plans to purchase and develop upon land in Aberdeenshire began during his visits to Scotland in 2005, shortly before he purchased the Many estate. Despite extensive opposition from both the Scottish National Heritage and the local public, development on the site began in October of 2009. The initial plan included two 18-hole golf courses, a 450-bedroom hotel and holiday apartments. With such an intrusive change to the local landscape, many activists and locals questioned the legitimacy of such plans in the face of Scotland's existing conservation laws.
The SSI, Scottish Natural Heritage, knowing the value of the site, the ecological value, the landscape value of the site, and there was a legal framework in place to ensure that this, in principle, couldn't be developed. So we're talking about the northern area of the golf course. So in the political decision-making process, this legal framework was circumvented in a way, which goes to show that these legal frameworks are not necessarily the solution, I think. It's all about how they're being enforced, and if they're stopped being enforced and they're overruled, then it doesn't mean it doesn't mean a lot anymore.
The Trump organisation played an absolute blinder from the start. They were lobbying from 2005 into the highest echelons of both planning and political power in Scotland.
Opinion among people in the northeast of Scotland, among my constituents, is very strongly in favour. And that's because we can see the social and economic benefits. I mean, 6,000 jobs across Scotland, 1,400 local and permanent jobs here in the northeast of Scotland. That's a very powerful argument. I think that outweighs the environmental concerns.
This was sold on the promise of 1,440 jobs in Scotland, 1,210 of which were supposed to be on site at many. There are 95 jobs at many as we speak. There were supposed to be 6,000 man-years of development taking place there. What's on place? There is this 450-bedroom hotel, the 2 golf courses, What's there is a conversion of Mini House into a boutique hotel and the conversion of the steading into more hotel rooms. A golf club that is a third of the size of the original golf clubhouse that was planned, and a trash dune system. U-turn? It's not a U-turn, it's a damn squib.
Alex Salmon, early on in the development, he is pro-Trump. He is appearing on photos with Trump, and in a way, you could say he's merely reflecting what he's an opportunistic politician. So he's kind of doing in a way what he thinks is society is supporting. And then somehow you see that turn, that switch, he distances himself later on from Trump. So things go bad a little bit. And I think that is partly due to the resistance of locals who actually gain momentum and appear in media more and more. And a big part or a big role for this that was causing the shift was You've Been Trumped, this film by Anthony Baxter that showed how local police was maybe not operating in the way they should be, or at least not very neutral, the way that Trump was bullying local residents.
His property is terribly maintained. It's slum-like. It's disgusting. He's got stuff thrown all over the place. He lives like a pig.
I was walking with a friend and had to answer a call of nature, which I did following the outdoor access code, and wasn't aware it was being filmed. If I had been, I would have probably crossed my legs for a little bit longer. I did feel I was vindicated because the sheriff very clearly stated they shouldn't have been filming me, and anybody in the future filming people who were doing what I was doing, a perfectly legal act, could be seen as being voyeuristic.
Mr. Trump, what would you say to the many local residents here who feel that you've run roughshod over planning legislation and environmental issues simply because you've got lots of money?
It's a very interesting question because, honestly, this is a very popular project. We've had great support from the council and great support from the political leaders. We've saved the dunes, and from an environmental standpoint, it's a much better situation than it was before we bought the site.
It depresses me because it's just a green gash across the dunes. It wasn't, it used to be a wonderful place for going and walking through the dunes flats and over the dunes to the sea. You saw so much wildlife.
The dunes have been destroyed. There are artificial dunes now, but there's not the same ecological processes, not the same species composition. The hydrology has been messed up. So, the gem that was there is pretty much gone.
When Trump first visited the Many estate in 2005, nobody would have imagined that he would become the President of the United States of America. We now know about his manipulative political style that seems to exclude any idea of common decency. With a second Trump golf course currently being proposed, the only remaining questions are, will we learn from our mistakes? Will we again be blinded by the promise of plentiful employment and investment? Or will we realise the true value of our unique ecosystems.